In our Spotlight on Business report, smokers in New Jersey will be shelling out more money every time they buy a pack of cigarettes or a vaping cartridge starting later this week. It's just one of several new taxes going into effect across the state as part of the latest budget agreement that's expected to bring in hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. So, where's the money going and how will it affect you? Our budget and finance writer John Reitmeyer is with us now to unpack the numbers and, of course, the politics behind the new taxes. John, welcome. Thanks for coming in. What is changing for smokers and vapors on August 1st? How much more will they be paying?
So depending on which tobacco product you use, the per cost of a pack of cigarettes is going up. It will now be $3 in New Jersey. And then what's becoming increasingly popular is the vaping devices, and depending on which product you're using, it's the cost of what's known as liquid nicotine is also going up by about the same percentage as you could use that per pack cigarette increase, which went up from $2.70. So that all starts on August 1st, and it is part of the agreement at the end of June that lawmakers and the governor reached as they enacted a new state budget.
So how much more revenue is that going to bring in, and what's the goal here? Is it just getting that revenue? Is there also a little bit of discouraging smoking, a little bit of both?
Probably a little bit of both. The taxes have increased pretty dramatically over, say, the last 2 decades when it comes to cigarette taxes specifically, and that's corresponded with a reduction in smoking in New Jersey. So there's probably some public health benefits as well as the state needing the money. So this has been, and some of the other tax hikes that were enacted or coming into effect this month follow a similar path where the state needs more money. It spends more than it takes in annual revenues, even with these tax hikes, but it bridges the gap a little bit closer. But something that's occurred while Governor Murphy has been in office is it seems like there's been this attempt to do targeted tax hikes. So rather than something across the board, say like increasing the sales tax that everyone pays, you see taxes increased on specific products or going after specific things, such as online gambling, online sports betting. That's a new tax that went into effect.
It's like you knew what I was going to ask next. What other taxes are we talking about?
So that's one of them that's already in effect in New Jersey. There are new rates now, new fees being assessed on what I've been writing as high dollar real estate transactions. And it's really homes or commercial properties over $2 million in value. We already had a fee for over $1 million in New Jersey. Now they've created what's a new graduated scale for over $2 million. That's generating several $100 million in new revenue, as is the higher tax on online gambling and online sports betting. The higher taxes on cigarette products is a more modest amount of revenue coming in, and there's a new, an increased assessment for hospital and ambulatory care admission fees that have also gone into effect, and that's generating millions of dollars in new revenue.
Yeah, a little harder to wrap your head around that than, say, a tax on a pack of cigarettes.
Correct.
Or $1 million home, which they raised to $2 million because it's anymore $1 million home seems to be more commonplace.
In many parts of New Jersey, so part of the debate, Murphy had originally sought, it has been called the mansion tax historically, to increase the mansion tax, but where lawmakers landed, and lawmakers have the constitutional authority to set these taxes, they landed on a higher fee at the $2 million and over threshold versus.
So where's all this money going? What's it being earmarked for? Do we know?
Most of it goes into the general fund of the state budget, which means it's pretty much available for any purpose that New Jersey spends state tax resources on. So some of this can be for hospitals, some of this can be for other big state departments like Department of Health. It really runs the gamut, but it's the general fund of the budget.
Which is where the waters can get a little murky. I mean, we've heard over the many years folks who want to see specific appropriations when there are new taxes and not just into the general coffers. Because there's a little bit of a history of money taken, paying Peter to rob Paul.
Absolutely, and this
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
We've had this in New Jersey, absolutely, where the only way there's a political appetite for a new revenue source is if you promise to dedicate those revenues to a specific purpose that most people can get behind. The reason we have an income tax in New Jersey is that money is constitutionally dedicated to going to either public education or property tax relief.
All right, you can read all of John Reitmeyer's reporting on the new taxes going into effect at the end of this week on August 1st, and all of your continued budget coverage at our website, njspotlightnews.org. John, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Support for the Business Report is provided by the Newark Alliance presents the 2025 Halsey Fest, featuring the vibrancy of Newark's Arts and Education District and Halsey Street. Halsey, a neighborhood built on hustle and heart. The 2025 Halsey Fest schedule is available at halseynwk.com.